right, guys. Thanks again for coaching and stepping up and volunteering for the Hereford Sports and Wellness Basketball League. We really appreciate you. Let's go over a few things just that is general for everyone, and then we'll get to the grade specific. So the first thing is on the age 4 through 2nd, we're going to provide you 27.5 size basketballs. Please return that equipment immediately after the season. We'd love to keep furnishing basketballs for our teams. Can only do that if we keep getting the stuff back, so we appreciate your commitment to get that done for us. All players playing must have their Hereford Sports and Wellness shirt on. Please tuck it in, and let's make sure that we don't have any jewelry hanging down, any chains, anything that's loose that somebody can grab onto. We don't want either the person with the stuff on to get hurt or the opponent to get hurt. So let's make sure we're doing that at all times. No, if you have an injury with a cast or something, can't play. Let's not have any cast on the court. That could really be could cause some damage to someone if they get hit with it, or the person wearing it could get hurt even further than what they already are. So let's make sure. So in this, let's get to age 4 through 2nd grade. Players may play up one grade level, but they cannot play down. So if you have a kindergartner you feel like is ready for 1st grade, that's okay. And then remember, pre-K and kindergarten leagues will be co-ed. The other two will be boys and girls separate, but co-ed, pre-K, and kindergarten in this league. All right, a game will consist of 4 8-minute quarters in the kindergarten through 2nd grade. A 1-minute break is allowed between quarters. If you have 10 players or less, let's make sure every player is playing at least 2 quarters. Let's make it fair and having all the kids play. They're young, we want them to learn and get a lot of playing time and have fun. If you have 10 or less, 7 or more players, let's make sure every player is sitting down at least 1 quarter. We don't want to keep one kid in for all 4 quarters when you have 10 players out there, or even 11 or 8 or 9. Let's make sure everybody's sitting there a little bit too. They must sit out 1 quarter if they have 7 or more players. Our referee's going to be out there keeping the official time for these games. Let's make sure they're going to keep it. They're going to have it running all the time except for their timeout. Like if they have something, an untied shoe, if they want to stop it, an injury, something like that. And free throws. We will stop the clock during free throws. We don't want too much time to run off there. Each team will be allowed 3 timeouts per game, 30-second timeouts, so it's going to be real fast. They'll only be allowed 3 of those, 30 seconds. The goals in this age group will only be 8 feet tall. So let's get to the defense. Ages 4 through 2nd. It's very important. Defense has to be man-to-man. No pressing, no zones, no half-court presses, no anything like that. What we mean by man-to-man. If one person, if a coach has people girls or boys covering the other players on the other team, doesn't mean that team has to put the same player on. As long as you're man-to-man, it doesn't matter who you cover, but you have to be man-to-man. So let's make sure on no pressing. That doesn't mean you put your offense is here, that your defense is right here. We have to give that offense room, so we're going to have the defense back a little. You have to give the offense room to get across. Second thing, on offense side, on the man-to-man. If you have a player that's very, ahead of the game, like they're a little developed more than the others, they can't be with the ball over here and all their teammates over here. You cannot isolate a ball handler in this age group. That's just not going to teach them anything. They're just going to be over here doing their thing, and everybody else standing over here just watching the game. So let's make sure we're running some kind, even if it's run and gun, whatever. We have to be spread out. We can't isolate the ball handler. Once a rebound, the defense gets the rebound down here. If they get the rebound, all the offense must get back here to about right here. So let's make sure we're giving them room to get across. They got to get back right away. No pressing at all. Let's say the offense. Offense gets the ball down in here. It's either a rebound, a shot. This ball handler has drove in. It's fair game for the defense. Every defensive player can go at that goal. Because we want them learning to rebound. We want them learning to defend an inside shot, offensive rebound. But once that defense rebounds, back to the other end for the other team. But remember, they get the ball in here, it's fair game for the defense. They don't have to stay out here. If you have an offensive player out here, they don't have to stay out here if the ball's here. I hope that makes sense. Fair game in here, everything else man-to-man. Give them some room to get by, okay? Hey, remember this 4th through 2nd grade league, 4-year-olds and kindergarten will shoot from the black line. There's a black line that's up above. They'll shoot from that one. 1st and 2nd grade will shoot from the gray line. Scoot them up a little bit. They still have a good chance of making it on that 8-foot goal. All right, let's move to the 3rd through 6th grade. These games will consist of 4 8-minute quarters with a running clock. The clock will stop on free throws and timeouts. You'll get a 1-minute break in between quarters, and each team will get 3 30-second timeouts per game. 3. So make sure that each team, one will provide the scorekeeper and the visiting team will provide the timekeeper. Let's keep 2 people over there, making sure we're all on point there with everything. The goals are going to be 10 feet regulation. The referee will keep the official time. And once again, if you're leading by 15 points or more, let's make sure we're not pressing. We're going to call you off the press. And like I said, in the younger ones, by no pressing, that means you got to give them room to get across. Not up here at the line doing a half-court press. You can play man-to-man, you can play zone, you can do presses, anything. But once it gets to 15 points, we got to call them back. If you get to an overtime, let's say it's tied up at the end of regulation, each team's going to choose 5 players to shoot free throws. Whoever makes the most free throws, they're going to win the game. If not, if it's still tied, then it's just going to be a tie. That's the only tiebreaker we'll have in this league. The only time we're going to have a jump ball is to start the game. Once we have that jump ball to start the game, it will be on possession arrow only. So let's make sure the 2 volunteers at the table and the referee are working together to make sure that those possession arrows get changed. If you get a foul, tell your player to turn around, get the number on their back so we can make sure we're counting their fouls. If a player gets a technical foul, that's going to be considered a personal foul. So if that happens and they have 4 fouls, they're going to be out of the game. 5 fouls will get you out of the game. All right, if you have a technical foul from your assistant coach, if an assistant coach gets a technical, he will be asked to leave the bench. He will no longer be allowed on the bench area. That technical foul will go toward the head coach. While that's important, if the head coach gets 2 technical fouls, they are asked to leave the game and you will miss the next 2 games. So let's make sure we're not doing that. I get it, we question calls from refs, we question calls, we have some competition, we're competitive, but let's keep it professional, let's keep it respectful for everything that we need to do for this league. So make sure we're not getting a bunch of technicals and doing that. We can handle things different than just having a big scene out there. 2 technical fouls on a player will get them disqualified, and we can do further discipline on that, whatever the situation is. But 2 technical fouls, they will be out of the game. Coaches, as far as code of conduct, we depend on you. You are responsible for your parents' behavior, your players' behavior, their conduct on the court. If a parent is getting out of control with the referee, with another team, with the coach, we need you to help us out. We have to control that. Now, is there going to be times you can't? But we're still going to have to be, you're going to have to give us a call. We can't let situations get out of hand out there. There's a shortage of referees all across the country, high school, middle school, rec ball, AAU, everything. These refs are doing their best. They're out there working hard. We can't do these programs without it. We don't want to get to a point where the coaches have to referee their own games. We want to keep these referees, they're out there for the kids, and let's make sure we're having respect, respecting the game, respecting parents, respecting players, refs, everything together, and just let us resolve anything that maybe not getting resolved. Just a few more items here. Age 4 through 2nd grade, you're going to play on the smaller court. Grades 3rd through 6th, we will play on the full court. All the teams are allowed 1 hour of practice each week on Tuesdays or Thursdays. Teams must stay with the same practice time and location throughout the duration of the season. If you pick a time, make sure you pick a time that's good for you for the season. All right, the available times for practice is Canavy Gym at 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30. And the available times for Triple Gym are 6:30 and 7:30. So be thinking about when you want that, get with us and we'll get you your practice times. The first practice will begin December 20th and 22nd. No practice during December 27th through January 5th. Practice will resume beginning January 10th. Please notify us in advance if you decide not to have practice. If you have a set time and you're just not going to make it for one reason or another, please let us know so we don't open up and don't have it ready. Games will be played as double headers on Saturdays. So, you know, before the season, our games are going to be double headers on Saturdays. All coaches, now this is important, if you have any coaches working with any kids during practice, you're on the bench during games, you're working with kids during games, they have to have a background. They cannot be on the bench or working with kids in practice without a background check. So make sure you check on that, make sure we got that done, and we're all straight on that because we have to have it. All players must wear their official Hereford Sports and Wellness shirts. I've said that before, but it's really important that they have those so we know they're on the roster, we know they're part of the team. We can't just bring random kids to the games and throw them in there. They have to have their sports and wellness shirts. And if you're missing a few players, still try to make the games because we want to avoid any forfeits. Rescheduling is a headache, so we're going to try to work with our coaches as much as possible to have a good schedule for you. But even if you're missing a few players, let's try to have the game and avoid any forfeits. So other than that, just have a good time, have fun. If you have any questions, you reach out to Hereford Sports and Wellness, and we can sure help you on that. And we look forward to a great basketball season. Have fun. Thanks.